Hey everyone, Genome here, coming at you with the newest live stream endeavor in my ever expanding list of different things to do. So today I'm joined by a guest who needs no introduction, but since he doesn't, I'll go ahead and introduce him anyway. I'm sitting here with none other than Jarrod Alberich of the Yard Sale Artist fame. Jarrod, how you doing this fine day?
All right, man. Thanks for having me here. I appreciate it.
Well, it's the least I could do for such an astute and august gentleman. I've watched you on several other streams.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I ate a thesaurus before I came over, by the way. So,
Whoa.
yeah, I've watched you several times on John Beatty's live stream and on your own. So,
Thank you. I appreciate that.
so what we're going to be doing today is first off, we're going to be getting to know Jarrod just a little bit, and at the same time, he's going to be sketching out something that I kind of requested on another one of his streams a while ago, and actually finishing a quick drawing for us.
Indeed.
Jarrod, so you want to explain kind of what it is you're doing today exactly?
Sure. Today I'm doing one of my more popular things that I do called a book page sketch. I have a myriad. I also had a thesaurus before I came on. I have a myriad, a menagerie, if you will, of books that I have gotten that are damaged, either water damage, missing pages, torn covers, whatnot. And people want to get rid of them. Discard bins from libraries mainly. And I take pages out of them. And then I draw characters from the books on the books. Oops, I just banged my microphone. Sorry, everybody. And in this case,
coming up.
I am using the infantry rifle and platoon and squad manual, an actual army manual. And I like to take this particular book and draw characters from a popular 80s military-oriented toy franchise on it, which will remain a mystery.
Yeah, that's right. We can't know exactly who this is at all, even though you and I both probably read from that same manual at least once. Well, I was never an infantryman, but I was aviation, about as far away from infantry as you can get. But
that's all right. I was in the Air Force, so I was even further away.
Oh, wow. This is no lie. There was, well, maybe it's a lie. I don't know. It sounds like a little bit of exaggeration, but officers were saying it, so who knows? They're saying that the Air Force actually got hazardous duty pay to stay in our barracks when they didn't have their own.
That's not accurate. I don't believe, unless I was getting shafted. Nobody gave me that because I deployed with the Army. I was one of two guys in an Army unit that deployed to Iraq. So I did the Army deployment, and I don't remember getting any extra for that.
No, I mean talking about back in garrison.
Oh, in garrison, that I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, that we had some Air Force guys that were attached to us too when I was over there. Actually, Air Force, Navy, Marines, we had everybody.
Yeah, that's very similar to the unit I worked in. Had all branches.
Yeah, it was interesting because at that time, the Army had instituted its 15-month rotation policy. So I got in there for the long haul. And at that time, Air Force was doing 4-month rotations, Navy 6 and Marine 7. Well, usually the Marines got extended, but so it was pretty funny. We came in over there with some Air Force guys. They left and came back before we left again. So
oh, man.
We used to have a thing because we wrote awards and things. We would literally, when they touched ground and in processed in, we had to start writing their awards before we even got to know them because they would be gone so fast they wouldn't have time to process. So, yeah, it really makes you like those Army awards. But enough about the Army and the yeah, exactly. Yes, First Sergeant. Gotcha. But we won't talk about military the entire evening, but it was kind of the impetus, I guess, of the drawing. And so this is a really popular thing for you, isn't it, to do these little book pages, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been doing them for about, probably 3 or 4 years now. I'd say probably 3 years.
And where'd you get the idea to start it from? I'm sorry.
No problem. I took a sip of water. I gave you the opening.
No dead air. That's
no dead air. I got you. I got the idea because I'm a huge James Bond fan. So much so that I host a James Bond podcast. It's my favorite fandom. I have a 007 tattoo on my shoulder.
Oh dear.
And I found a bunch of James Bond books at surprise yard sale because as a yard sale artist, that's what I do. And one of them was Goldfinger, and I already had a copy of Goldfinger. I have a couple copies of each one, but I can't pass them up when I find them at yard sales. and the Goldfinger was literally falling apart. Like the pages were falling out of it. It was just that old and tired. And I was like, I don't really want to throw this away. I wish there was something I could do with it. And I was like, you know what? I will draw a couple, like I'll draw James Bond on it. And so I drew a picture of Sean Connery Bond on it with little white tux with the red carnation in it from the beginning of the movie. And I liked it. And then so I said, okay, then I drew a picture of Odd Job on a page that mentioned Odd Job and a Pussy Galore on a page that mentioned Pussy Galore, if I'm allowed to say that on this channel. And then a Goldfinger page.
It's her name. What can you do?
There's nothing I can do about that, folks. So that's where it all started. Is I did that and somebody bought it, and I was like, okay. And then I was like, I went up to my local library. I said, you guys never throw away books that just get too damaged? Like, yeah, we got a discard bin. You're welcome to go through it. And ever since then, I've been going to that discard bin about once a month, and about every other time I find something in there that I can draw characters on, something pop culture related. And that's how that works.
Such an interesting and innovative kind of little thing there. I mean, you're taking something that's going to be probably discarded anyway and turning it into something both kitschy and useful at the same time.
That is the whole plan of yard sale art in general, because when I'm not doing this, I paint on things that I find at yard sales, using supplies that I bought at yard sales. I really hope I get this eye right. Hang on, I want to make sure the other eye matches really well. Snicker.
That's an interesting angle. You got like the up and side profile kind of thing going on.
Yeah, I went with a crazy angle on this one. I try not to use the same angle for all the different various characters that I choose from this series, because I have a whole bunch from this series that will remain a secret.
Well, speaking of secrets, the first person in chat, let's see who guesses it first. I'm just curious who's going to get this. You have to be really up on your G.I. Joe lore, because this wasn't a huge character.
Who said anything about G.I. Joe?
Oh, yeah. Well, it was in kind of the description.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Whoops. Lots of spoiler alerts here. But hey, I'm going to talk to people who have entered the chat. We
Absolutely.
have Thomas Wayne, a regular on the channel. Hello. GLH from John Beatty and your own streams. Welcome.
Hello, GLH.
Let's see. They had a lot of questions of... I used to draw that red-headed G.I. Joe chick. I'm not sure which one it is. I thought, was it Lady J?
Probably sure. Scarlet is the one who's the most famous of the redheads. That's who I'm thinking.
It's been so long. Let's see. What else we got? 36 Chambers Tattoo Studio. Yo, Genome and Jarrod. Very cool idea. Love this. All right. Well, we'd love to have you.
Up from the 36 Chambers. Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
Oh, no, please. Go on.
If you want me to
promotion on this channel.
If you want me to wrap a bunch of I keep wanting to say Method Man, but I know he's part of the entire group when they did the album 36 Chambers. Help me out. It's the Wu-Tang Clan. I knew it would come to me eventually.
I had a Method Man album. I can't remember which one it was, though. Is It Me was the main song on it. But let's see. That was back in the Army days once again. It all comes back to that.
Hula.
What's the Air Force one? Waiter?
We're just like,
waitress.
It's just, it's indifferent.
Let's see. Thomas Waring says he also drew the black-haired Cobra lady. GLH says that's
Baroness.
Baroness, yep. There's only 2 girls in Cobra. Is that true? It's like I said, it's been so long.
It's like Baroness and Zorana. I think there might be only 2 girls in Cobra because they're the only ones that just sprang to mind.
Let's see. Trying to get to the chat here. Oh, yeah. Hey, here we go. So, yeah, GLH is like, that's Jared's way to work that dad rap into the conversation.
Oh, did someone say dad rap?
It's funny how that always does happen, doesn't it?
Just pops up every time.
So book pages, these are great little ideas, and you do these at shows quite a bit.
I do. I'm very successful with selling them at shows. I don't do them hardly ever at shows because I never know what a client's going to want, and I'm not going to lug all those books with me to the show. So it's kind of weird. Like last year at Heroes Con was the first time that I actually brought. I pre-tore out a few pages because I was like, okay, what's super popular? What do people always want? So I brought like some extra Harry Potter pages that mention Harry, Hermione, Ron. Those are like the instant sellers for me. Those won't sit out on the tray for an hour at any convention before they're gone. And then like Jurassic Park, I bring a few pages of that to draw some dinosaurs on. But usually these are much better served if you're interested in any of these is by like a pre-con. Just contact me and be like, hey, I'd like this and this and this. And let me do it and just bring it to the show. Because otherwise I have to sort of predict, which I'm not great at, what I'm going to need. So while I have a lot of them available at shows because I bring a lot of pre-done ones with me. I don't generally draw them at the show just because I never know what the heck anybody's going to want. Every time I've tried to guess at what people want at a show, I'm wildly incorrect.
Yeah, that's when they start asking for Zarkos and people like that.
I'm telling you, man. I am telling you. I'm like, it's just what you see in the box.
What you need to do is bring some general stuff like Tale of Two Cities or Great Expectations with you. It goes with everything, you know? Yeah. Or War and Peace. There's lots of characters in that.
Let me try Batman on War.
Should be awesome. Nothing like Tolstoy at these cons. So, but it seems like such a good thing to do it like a show because you can do them fast. How long does one of these averagely take you?
When I'm not on the live stream, because I do them on my channel and live stream, and they usually run at about an hour. When I'm not doing it that way, about 30 minutes. I'm taking my time with this, enjoying my water here. But like when I just sit down and do it, sometimes like for ones I do in the live stream, I always prep out a pencil sketch first. Because the worst thing you could do in a live stream is just like fall apart when the drawing starts not coming together. You're like, son of a... Ah! So I always make sure I have a good sketch out before I even do it on live stream, yours or mine or anyone's, because I don't need people watching me fall apart. But sometimes when it's just me, sometimes I won't even do the pencil sketch. I'll just go right to ink and I'll just go, because I'm modeling these off of I watched the cartoon and I find interesting angles or shots, and I literally freeze frame it and print it out, and I stick it up right there, and I go, oh, I like that interesting angle, and then I just go to town.
I like the method there. Hey, we got some new people in chat. Let's see. Hey, Rod Line is over here. Man, we get on all the players from the other channels. Welcome.
Hey, Rod.
He also has a question for you. He says, Jarrod, why are you not at C2E2?
I have an answer for that. Because C2E2 is in Chicago. That's a long way from where I live. It's and I can expand upon that a little. It's particularly hard as a yard sale artist because, as I was mentioning earlier, I paint on things I find at yard sales. So they're either old paintings themselves I've added characters to, or sometimes I find really ornate frames that I paint. I like to put supervillains or villainous people in really ornate frames because they look like the kind of paintings they have hanging up at their own house, like Dr. Doom. Or I did Dr. Doom. Yeah. Yes, I did a Dr. Doom like that. A Scrooge McDuck. I did Mr. Burns from The Simpsons, which was one of my favorites. But anyway, and because of that, they're very, very bulky, which means I drive everywhere. To every con I go to, I drive. And I live, like, no kidding, like 14 hours from Chicago. It's funny you should mention it, though, because just last night, one of my buddies, the writer, Van Allen Plexico, was messaging me. And Van and I have made a couple of comics together. Like I said, he's a writer, and I do mostly the ink work for his comics. And he was like, hey, we should do C2E2 next year. We're going to have a couple of new comics out. Let's get a table together and go to C2E2. Of course, he lives about 5 hours away. I live 14 hours away.
Yeah, it's a bit further.
Maybe I'll fly.
I'm thinking about 7 hours away myself. I lived in Chicago, so everything's far away from there.
I get it, man. I'm originally from South Bend, Indiana, so I know the area well. I've been there a few times. But yeah, that's the short answer to the question that was posed is it's too far away.
Well, I mean, yeah, like one of those rich artists who has a stash at every freaking city in preparation for these.
I'm a yard sale artist. I lug a bunch of crap with me everywhere I go.
I can see you now pulling up in the station wagon and loading box after box of
It's
things,
kind of how it
courtesy of old
is.
doors.
I've got one of them cubed out Scion XP cars. I fold everything down. I pack it all up. It's a scene, man.
Welcome, Gray Man, from across the pond. That's our good friend Graham over there.
Hello, sir.
Let's see. If you have any questions for Jared, just go ahead and throw them out there. GLH is like, there's always some guy at the show asking for, I want the Mona Lisa, but make her smile, you know?
Yes. Oh, my goodness. He's going to get me started on talking about art direction and how I know those people are all very well intentioned, but I also might murder them.
Rodline says, I almost had a free ticket for today, but I'm about 40 minutes outside of the city. Apparently, I didn't get it. We have some royalty just came in to the stream. I better hold on.
Everybody was
solo out there. I'll give you a clue who this guy is. Biggie Shack, welcome to the stream as always, my friend. Great to have you. Great to have you. If you have any questions to ask of Jarrod Alberich, the yard sale artist, feel free. And meanwhile, he's gonna keep working on this pseudo commission.
I missed the clue. Put the clue back up. I was looking down when you put the clue up.
Oh, it was this. I always hold it up when he.
You got like a thing for that's awesome.
And you'll never know where it came from. It goes with me to the grave. So,
wow.
Biggie is a big supporter of the channel, and he's a big supporter in the comics community. A lot of people from the comics community are in here this evening.
Awesome. I love it. Well, if you've got indie comics love going on here, and if you don't mind me pimping,
please do.
I will talk a little bit, see if I have a visual aid. I'll talk about a little bit of the one that I wrote, Hamilton versus Burr, A Werewolf Tale. Oh. This is available on my website, which is theyardsaleartist.com. Book I
Links
did with
below.
That's right. Appreciate it. Book I did with my buddy Nate Niles. He did the pencils on it. And actually, he did the pencils and the inks. And then my buddy Ace Wheelie did the color. I just wrote the story and, well, I actually inked the cover as well. But mostly that's all Nate. And yeah, that was a fun one. And it's done really well. People have tended to really like it. And it's my first effort. So I will tell you, admittedly, right here on the show today, there are things I would have done different. But I'm happy with it overall.
So was Custer too, but at the time it seemed like a good idea.
Yeah, right. For my very, very first writing effort, I am very happy with it. There are things I learned along the way, and I've got 2 more comics in the works right now, but that's the one that's out right now.
Where is the book available at?
The book is available a couple of ways. Like I said, you could, if you want a hard copy with my signature on it, and I usually throw in a free little sketch card by the artist, Nate Niles. You can get those at my website, theyardsaleartist.com. I think they're $10, and that includes shipping. And it's a 44 or 48 page comic. I can't remember off the top of my head. It's a 40-something page comic, full color, no ads. So you get a fair amount of bang for the buck.
Well, here's to hoping the Hamilton does a little better in the book than he did in reality.
It's so much fun. I'm glad you mentioned it. It's fun because there's a lot of historical accuracy in it, surprisingly, but I put a little spin on it too. I mean, I'll tell you right now, Burr, although in real life often thought of as the curmudgeonly evil person, he is the hero in this book, and you'll find out why.
Well, his honor was besmirched, so that was the whole reason behind the duel in the first place.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it goes into that. There's actually a lot of historical accuracy in there. In fact, on the inside back cover, I list all the things in there that are historically accurate that I discovered while I was researching it.
If memory serves, a lot of historians have looked back and because Hamilton shot sheared off a branch, so a lot of people thought he wanted not even to try to shoot the guy. He was just shooting into the air, and so a lot of people think Burr just cold-bloodedly killed the guy, but who knows? They also said it could have gone off when he was falling. So
it's as I discovered some similar things. Hamilton may very well have intentionally missed. Apparently, that was kind of a thing where you could have a duel for your honor, but you don't really want to kill anybody, so you just shoot in the air. are you intentionally missed? And then Member was like, nah, dude, no, this is the real thing.
Yeah, I didn't just ride on the carriage for 2 days to get over
Right.
here and not shoot somebody. So.
Exactly. They did the duel in New Jersey, as history buffs might know. And that's because New Jersey had much more lax dueling laws. It was actually illegal to duel in New York at the time.
Back when they made men. So let's see. Rod Line says, "Oh my God, Jarrod, South Bend. We are thinking of going there for a car show, but my wife is concerned it's not a safe city. Thoughts or comments?"
Well, I couldn't really tell you. I haven't actually lived in South Bend since like the early 80s. And all my family lives outside South Bend in a little town called Plymouth. Well, it's not that little, but it's a town called Plymouth outside South Bend, which is wonderful, and I love going there. But yeah, I am not the authority on South Bend and its safety there, and you're on your own, buddy.
Sorry, just replying to somebody there.
All right.
Let them know that you're drawing an Army infantryman manual there.
I should probably keep it in frame. That will help. There we go. That'll help, eliminate the questions.
Got to look at the FM 3-21 Bravo back there. That's how everything is like 670-1. Article 50. Everything's got a number and an acronym.
Everything's got a number. I was once in a meeting when I was early on in the military, and this lady was complaining about the acronyms, and she said there are just far too many acronyms in the DoD. And I just thought that was funny. She threw DOD in with her complaint about acronyms.
Yeah, was that either Freudian slip or intentional? I don't know.
It was. I could clearly tell that it was not intentional, and that's one of the reasons it made me laugh so much.
And then everyone has to start pinching their legs so they don't burst out laughing. Yeah, it's one of those. Gray Man says, "I read that Army doctors are sent by the Army to Chicago to give them gunshot wound training." Well, they would certainly have the people to work
the
on.
Opportunity, yeah.
I don't know how true it is, but there used to be a legend in the because I was at Fort Bragg, and that's where the Rangers were stationed, and Green Berets and all that. And supposedly, when they trained their medics, they would actually shoot a goat in the stomach, and then the medic had to keep him alive for like 24 hours or whatever it was. So pretty intense stuff.
Yeah, we've not only have we stopped some similar ground out in the Middle East, that we've stopped similar ground in the great state of North Carolina, because my first duty assignment was Pope Air Force.
Pope. I think the Army swallowed that now, though, didn't they?
Yep, it's Pope Army Airfield now.
Craziness, man. That was fun. That's where we went to go see nice grass, because everything was cutting
It's
nice.
It's funny you should say that, because I went back recently to teach some classes there in my civilian job, and I was like, man, the lawn keeping here has really gone downhill.
It's because the Army walks all over it.
The Army's like, whatever, we got things to do today.
I have some very unfond memories of clean sweeps and all that, and running around doing beautification, painting rocks and all that good stuff. So,
painting them rocks.
We don't need to bring that back up again.
This traumatic episode of Genome Presents.
It's pretty funny, if you've never been in the military, it's just funny the stuff that they don't ask you to do, they just tell you to do, and you wind up doing some stuff you never thought you would do in your entire life. Painting rocks being one.
Painting rocks.
Bunch of guys with rifles slung over their shoulder, picking up leaves and picking up cigarette butts in parking lots. I've done it all.
They make sure the taxpayers get their money's worth. That's for sure.
That's the truth, man. They work just like dogs sometimes, but it wasn't all bad. It was the easiest job I ever had in my life. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, there were definitely some upsides to it. There were definitely some very, very, very good days, my friend.
Yep. Nothing like going out for land nav and actually taking your fishing poles and going fishing for about 6 hours. But that was an Army thing. I don't know what the Air Force did, but
we just ordered fish.
I'll have the braised sea bass, please. Bring it over quickly, Private. Yes, but yeah. So once again, Jarrod is drawing something of a commission that I asked for, and like I said, big kudos to people who can figure out who it is just on the viewing of what he's putting down. So what shows are you going to be going to this year, if any?
Oh, I've got a bunch. Let's see. I will be at Toylanta and that's just in a few weeks. It's the weekend of March 21st, 2nd ish, wherever that weekend falls, right around March 21st, March 22nd. I'll be in Toy Atlanta, which is, as the name implies, a toy show in Atlanta.
I
And
don't
then,
know. Is that up there with DOD? All right.
yeah, then I'm ready to switch over to a thicker marker now. Here we go. And then I will be doing my local art show that I like to do every April. It's called the Piney Woods Art Fest. It's right here in Enterprise, Alabama.
Oh man.
Yes, sir.
I did my AIT in Fort Rucker, so
You know exactly where it is. And let's see, that's April. I can't remember if I booked something for May. I don't think I've booked anything for May yet. I've got one in early June in Tallahassee. I think it's, I'm trying to remember the name of the con. Terrific Con, something like that. I apologize to the people who run that show. It's my first year, so I have to learn the name on that one. It's my first year on that one. Then after that, I got Heroes Con, of course, in Charlotte, North Carolina, later June. And I think I haven't got my official letter, so I'm fingers crossed, but I think I'm doing Dragon Con. This will be my 4th year doing it, if they'll have me again.
Oh, I'm sure they will. Let's see here.
So those are the ones on my immediate radar, but I'm always looking to add one or two. Every year I like to try a couple different ones. I have my mainstays I know I'm going to do, and then I like to try to add.
I mean, yeah, you can't be stagnant too, and you need to add, that's just money in your pocket, right? Unless
Exactly.
you got booth fees to eat. They're too bad, but
no, I've been really blessed that I've been doing this long enough now. This is about my 5th or 6th year in the convention circuit. Most of the cons that you see me at now are I'm at the point where I'm not paid to show up, but a lot of them I get a comped table. So that's nice. I really appreciate all the shows that do that for me, which has grown over the years as I've grown. So shout out to all the shows that comp me a table. It means a lot to yard sale artists like me.
Well, if they're actually watching, I would be impressed. But
You never
yeah,
know.
definitely, it's good to fill the tables with actual artists. There's dead space looks terrible in those big buildings, so they got to fill it up with something productive.
Yeah. I pride myself on being very good and nice to the customers, which I think helps a lot. I do free 3-minute sketches for the kids, and I think a lot of shows like that because it's something a lot of times parents come to the shows and kids. It's funny. Let's be honest. The whole comic pop culture thing is much more popular with grown-ups than kids now.
Oh yeah.
So kids are just like, whatever. I'm just kind of in this weird world, and it's kind of cool looking, but. So I give them something that can be just for them. Come over to my table, tell me who your favorite character is, and I said I got a little 3-minute sand timer, and I do my best to draw it in 3 minutes, and the kids get a kick out of it. So that's fun.
I got one of those too. I'm always supposed to use it on my videos, so
there you go.
So much, but yeah. I never do. I like to ramble. Hey, superior hero reviews. What's going on? Welcome to the stream. Good to see you.
Welcome.
Let's see. Rod Lai is figure out who it is. Says I know who he was, and he was one of my favorite figures. He was actually my first figure. That's one of the reasons I picked him.
Well, he's in Joe circles. He's pretty well known.
GLH asked, "What server stories do you have?" So you want to regale us with one of your favorite ones that's fit for us non-super users?
Yes, a service story.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Well, one of them I will keep one of them to myself because it's actually going. Knock on wood, everything looks like it's going to happen this year. It's actually going to be published in a comic this year, so that'll be fun. Cool. And then I think that's what GLHC was angling for, but he's not going to get it because he's bugged me about it before.
And by the way, this is a family stream, so no, I don't hear about your VD stories. But
nothing on Valentine's Day. Got it. So anyway, I'll tell one of my favorite day stories. It was, right after the big Hurricane Katrina, if you remember that, down in Louisiana, and they evacuated a lot of those folks that were stuck in the Superdome down there to Kelly Air Force Base Annex in San Antonio. And I was stationed in San Antonio, and my office was on Kelly. And we all took a day to go down there to help those folks coming in, get off the plane, get in processed and all that. And I was out on the actual tarmac getting folks off, and it was very rewarding, although tough, because it was a real tough time for a lot of those people. You saw some terribly sad things, but being able to directly help people in need is a tremendously rewarding experience. And it's just one of those things from the military that I'll never forget and be very happy that I could have been a part of.
Well, there we go. Look at that, man. See, we're all about positivity here on the stream, so it's always good to hear when you're not, shooting up churches and school buses and blowing up school buses. That's the thing that people think we do all the time.
I'm glad to change some minds maybe on that.
When I was deployed, I was stationed working out of Alpha Palace. And
that's where my office was.
Surrounded. This is a 3-story palace, right? That was one of Saddam's old palaces, and we were surrounded by this. It's like this giant man-made lake, and in it there's these huge carp, and they're actually I don't know about this bit long, but they're ravenous. People are always feeding them. They come right up to the to the wall. One day I was on guard duty inside there, and the place was infested with rats. And one day I'm sitting there just at the guard duty desk, and I hear this snap right at my feet, because they don't care what time it is. They're always running through there. So there's this gigantic dead rat. So I went out and threw him to the fish, and apparently they were nibbling on him for quite a while. But that's my war story where I took a life. So forgive me, please.
I worked in Alpha Palace. Actually, I had to go through it to some hardened trailers in the back. So I know it very, very, very well. I walk through Alpha Palace every morning to get to my office.
Oh, I know. You're down there with the audiovisual guys, weren't you? They had a TV station or something down there. I believe.
Let's just say or something, and we'll leave it at that.
That's where we don't talk about too many specifics, but yeah, you were in the same places that I was. That's pretty crazy.
That's crazy. We were in the same spot, man. Eating at the same chow hall facility, which was actually excellent, by the way.
I had no problem with it.
That chow hall was freaking great. I'd go eat there right now.
Because they had it wasn't really Army running it. It was multinational corps kind of running it, so they had some pretty good cooks, and they had a sandwich station. You can get like hot meat chopped up and all that. So.
Oh gosh, you could get they had basically had a Baskin Robbins inside the dang thing, which I used as like that was like my what's the word? I guess my reward, my goal. I swore I would never eat at that Baskin Robbins until it was my last day, and I was going home, and I stayed by that.
There was 2 defects there. One of them had wings on a couple nights a week, but it was interesting place, man.
It was an interesting place.
What was my funniest story about the DFAC, and there's nothing bad about this, is if you don't know this, sandstorms happen all the time in the Middle East, and when they do, a lot of times it grounds planes, so the supplies don't come in. So after a while, you can tell the DFAC's running low on food, because in the morning one time they had melted butter, sliced carrots. Had the weirdest things, like 3 or 4 pancakes that were out there in the platter, but that was it. So
we got celery and raisins. Who needs celery and raisins?
That's when you go out and find MRE.
I guess I'll take celery and raisins.
But
that's awesome.
Oh, good times. So what else do you do other than these little book pages? I know you said you draw things on items you find at yard sales. Do you do any more traditional stuff on regular white paper?
I do traditional drawings on white paper. I do those for commissions. And sometimes, like if I'm going to be on John Beatty's show or whatever, we're just doing something fun that night, I might just gin up something like that on just regular white paper. But lately, over the last few months, these book page sketches have, like I said, really taken off. So my commissions list on it is quite lengthy. So that's what I've been mainly doing. But yes, I do draw on all kinds of formats. Let's see if I have anything handy as an example. I'm certain I must. I did a stream recently. Maybe you saw it where I did like Ray from the Ghostbusters, 11 by 17 pen and ink piece. So yes, I do that kind of thing. I do like watercolor and ink wash pieces. I've been doing a lot of those lately. Just it kind of goes from one to another. What's popular or what people are asking for right now? It's book pages, and of course, like I said, I'm always painting. I always have a painting project going on out in I have a man cave studio at my backyard. I built a 24-foot by 24-foot building about 5 years ago. And I go out there about 1 day a week to work on painting. So I get a painting done about once a month or so. And those are always fun. And when I'm not doing that, I write comics. Like I said, I wrote Hamilton versus Burr, and I've written 2 others. Actually, I've written 3 others. And then my brother and I are working on a project right now that I hope comes to light, sort of doing an adaptation of a classic. That's all I'll say for now. But I'm going to be doing the art. Yeah, it's a mystery. I'm doing the art for it. My brother's writing the adaptation.
Did you see it's on screen now? Did you see my latest masterpiece there of oils and canvas?
Oh, I like it.
I call that my painting at lunch hour series.
Oh, that's really great, man. And see, if I found something like that at a yard sale, which I do, I find paintings that people have done that have somehow got abandoned, and I find at a yard sale. You know, I would probably have like Aquaman coming up out of that water or something like that. I would add that to it. That's the kind of thing I do. Like I either add to what's already there. Sometimes, like I said, I'll reuse the frame. Sometimes I get real creative. Like I found a mirror, and it was big. It was a stand-up mirror, but its stand had broken, so it was just a mirror, and it was probably 5 feet long and oval, oblonged shaped, and it looked like a surfboard actually. And that's where I got the idea to paint Silver Surfer on it. And then I realized it's best to paint everything but Silver Surfer since he is a mirrored surface. So I painted everything. I masked his shape off and painted this whole universe star system behind it, and then peeled the tape off. So the only mirror that's left is him. And it looked really cool, if I may say so myself.
No, that would be awesome.
I've done 2 of those since. Well, that was the first one I did, and it sold at a convention in Georgia. And then a buddy of mine really liked it, so I found another mirror at a yard sale and did him one. And it's hanging up at his house. He picked it up. He was great. He picked it up at Heroes Con last year, and then he just walked up and down the aisles with it, just waiting for people to go, "That's crazy. Where'd you find that?" And you need to go see the yard sale artist. I'll send me all this business. It was wonderful. I appreciate it. Shout out to Dave Collins. That wizard's just a crazy old man who did that for me.
Oh, you bad Star Wars inserters there.
His Twitter handle is @oldben1, I think. So
not Uncle Ben's.
Not Uncle Ben, not to be confused with Uncle Ben, but Old Ben.
Been interesting. I think on the mirror I would have done like Dracula, just like a little outline. Like a real soft outline.
Now you're getting the vibe of being a yard sale artist.
Did you ever paint anything on that cityscape one you were showing on your channel?
I that's the one I'll be working on next. That's the one that's being in progress out in the building. The New York cityscape that I said I wouldn't tell what I was going to draw on it, but Cowabunga dudes is like the greatest hint ever.
You're gonna draw surfers on there, not big green things, but just surfers.
Just surfers. You got it. All right, it's time to add some color to this. We're gonna color this bad boy up.
While you're grabbing colors, Rod Line says, "Thanks, Jarrod, for answering my Instagram message. How much stock of art and product would you recommend for someone getting their first table at a con?"
Good question. Thinking back to my first table at a con. While I pick out colors, I'm doing 2 brain things at once, and I just grabbed the wrong color. So let me not do that. There we go. Now I got the one I wanted. Okay, I would say, good question. Bring a fair amount, because nobody knows you yet. Like I didn't start getting sketchbook and actual commission at the table requests until probably 2 years ago. and I've been in the game for about 5 years. So you're not going to get a lot of that because people just don't know who you are yet. So bring a fair amount of already done stuff. I can't stress enough how good prints can be. Like if you get a couple of drawings you really like, make some prints out of it and make them affordable, real cheap, as much as you can afford, to make a profit on them. And that's a really good way to go when you're new, is people are kind of checking out your prints, and you might get a couple of sketch requests or whatever, but bring a lot of prints. I like to, I think even when I started, I like to make sure I brought at least 6 paintings to a show, and a bunch of, like I said, a bunch of prints, and then maybe a bunch of pre-done small original pieces that are kind of affordable. That's a good way to get your foot in the door. I hope I actually answered that question.
Sounds pretty thorough to me.
All right.
In other words, bring some variety with you. I mean,
yeah, bring a variety, bring a fair amount. It's great when you see people like Beatty or some other, Mike Zecker, all those kind of guys who are just famous already, and they show up with nothing but like a 9x12 pad and a pencil, because somebody's going to come up there and give them a couple $100 commission, and that's going to happen all weekend for them.
Yeah, I'm sure they're turning down work.
Yeah, they literally are, whereas, a guy like me, I'll get maybe 1 or 2, at the most 2 drawing requests in a day. And that's fine, because artist secrets, I actually don't really like drawing at the table that much. I'm much more comfortable in my studio, where I can have my reference picture hanging up and all my little tools, and I'm much more comfortable here. Which is not to say I don't. I take everything that comes my way, and I take it with a smile on my face. But I would rather be in studio than at the table. In fact, that is why people will bring me their sketchbooks, and they'll say, hey, how much for a sketch? And I'll tell them straight up. This is true, I get real experimental in sketchbooks. I'll just try things for fun.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell them straight up, pay me once the drawing is done, whatever you want. If you don't like it, don't give me any money. If you like it a little, give me $5-10. If you like it a lot, and it's kind of awkward for them at first because they don't know what to do. And I put them very much at ease. I'm like, listen, you cannot insult me. It's okay. Whatever you want, it's fine. Don't pay too much. Just whatever you feel, because I'm just gonna draw something. And I will tell you, without exception, every single time, these very nice and generous people have given me more money than I would have probably actually asked for.
Yeah, I don't doubt it.
It's just fun. I like to make it, as the yard sale artist, I like to make it a fun experience for the buyers, for the people at the cons, because I used to be that guy. And I mean, it's one thing to go to an artist and, it's kind of the, hey, what do you want? You want a Spider-Man? I do a Spider-Man, 60 bucks.
Meet me out back. I'll give it to you for 55.
Yeah, maybe 55. That kind of thing. But I like to make it fun. I like to be like, okay, let's make a game. I like to make a game out of almost everything that happens there. It's like when people come up and look at my paintings, they're very used to, because there are some people in the comic art world, especially, who get offended if you make them an offer other than what's stuck the sticker price. I will never understand this. As a yard sale artist, is beyond my capability to understand this mentality. But I will never. In fact, I encourage people. I'm like, hey, I see someone looking at one of my paintings. You like this painting? Hey, if you like it, remember, this is yard sale art. Make an offer. Let's make a deal. Let's haggle. Let's have some fun. I like to change the experience a little bit, and it's been a successful formula for me.
Haggling's weird. It kind of goes against the grain of where we are as a country now. I've been to countries where they don't respect you unless you do haggle.
You better haggle, man. Exactly.
It's weird, man. I feel uncomfortable doing it somewhat, but yeah.
Well, see, and I try to. I understand there are people that do feel uncomfortable, and I try to alleviate that and make it fun. And tell them, hey, it's fine. Don't, toss me an offer. You won't upset me. I swear, no matter how low it is, you won't upset me. And then I usually get it out of them. But sometimes that works in the Americanization of that works in my favor. And you didn't ask me to, but I'm going to tell another story real quick. I had a lady come up to me. I was at my first or second Dragon Con, and I had this giant painting because it used to be a desktop. I had a giant painting of Darth Vader. Pretty good, if I may say so myself. I don't get jazzed about a lot of my own art pieces, but I liked that one. And this lady, she came up and she's looking at it. And I said, is there something I can help you with? You interested in this piece? And she said, yeah, my husband and I have been looking at it. And I said, well, bring him by when he gets a chance and we'll talk about price. We can work on what you see there. Well, Mrs. A beach. She goes, no, we're going to pay full price. I'm just thinking about where we're going to put it. And I'm like, I just basically told you I'd go down and price it. Mm-hmm. She blew right past it. I was like, okay, well.
Probably didn't realize she was doing it.
Probably not. I mean, wonderful, wonderful people, and I definitely appreciate their support. But it's just a funny experience. Like, all right. I had a guy once, I had an Iron Man piece I painted on a piece of, you would appreciate this, UH-60 helicopter metal.
Very nice, very nice.
And he walked up, and I hadn't even got the price tag on it yet. And he handed me his credit card and said, I want that. And I said, well, sir, that's one of my most expensive paintings. He goes, don't care. Run it. He never even asked me how much it was. All right. So it's a fun game out there. And kind of going full circle to what we were talking about. I want to make it fun. I want your experience at the art sale artist table to be fun. Not so a lot of those experiences at cons can be stiff. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
We ain't gonna name names about creators and stuff, but some of them are they're just not fun to talk to. Just be fun. That's all I'm saying.
Rod Line, kind of falling in with that, had a question: do you worry about copyright issues with the characters you're drawing at these things?
Ask Rod Line why he wants to know.
Does he run a show?
Rod Line, who
are you a Marvel exec's cousin or something?
Yeah, what's happening here, Rod Line? Come clean with us. Oh, he's not the first person ever asked that question either. No, I don't. Here's sort of the thing. As I understand it, as I've been told by other comic book professionals, because I mean, everybody there, literally everybody there is drawing, Marvel characters and DC characters, and all the way from your very famous artist to your yard sale artist, we're all doing it, right? So the question is, could Marvel execs bust into that convention hall and say, all right, everybody's got a Spider-Man piece, cease and desist order now, could they? Sure. They could. Will they?
Yeah. See, the thing that people don't understand is they do that for so the Walmarts and the big companies don't go out there and just use their licensed products and make billions. They're not worried about the guy selling stuff on the street corner or at the con. I mean, it's not worth their time legally.
Yeah, legally, exactly. It's not worth their time. And if you think about it in a macro view too, it's a heck of a lot of free advertising for their characters. They're paying $0 to have their characters very much in the spotlight. So, there you have it. And it's kind of funny that you would ask that too, because if you do look at my site, the yardsalartist.com, which I'll say 100 times for you, you'll notice I don't have a ton of merchandise that is trademarked by other companies. You'll see original drawings and things like that, but prints. I won't run like 600 prints of Spider-Man and stick it up on my website, because that's when you're starting to push the envelope. Like if I were 1,000 prints of Spider-Man and I stuck it on my website, it just sell them like that, then I'd feel a little bad about it. So there's a balance is where I'm going with this.
Rod Line was, because he's an artist too. And yes, Rod, I have looked at your Instagram. It's Artistic Amnesia. I like your abstract Joker. It looks really cool. I like that one down there. But he's just asking, so in case he does, it looks like he doesn't want to get in trouble.
No. And you know what? It's a fair question, Rod. And I asked the same question of my artistic mentor, who will remain nameless during this conversation, but we all know who he is. I asked the same thing of him when I started. So it's smart that you're thinking that way. The real people, I'll tell you right now, the real people that everybody hates at a convention are apparently, and I've never run into any of these, but there are apparently people who will come to the convention. They will look at your art, flip through your portfolio, whatever, snap pictures of it. Go the next day. The next day, you'll see someone outside the convention hall out on the sidewalk selling prints of your drawing that they had made from the picture they snapped. I've heard that this happens at really big shows. I've heard that it happened out at San Diego a couple times. Those are the people that are just the scum of the earth. Really,
That's like wrestlers that steal the wrestlers' moves. For goodness' sake,
it really is. I mean, they snap a picture, they go, and that's why, in case you've ever been to a con and maybe you really liked a piece and you ask the artist, or you might even see a picture sign hanging that says no pictures allowed of the art, and an artist might straight up tell you no. That's what they're worried about. It's not you personally. They're worried that you're one of those people.
More insider information. This is great stuff. Once again, if you have any questions in the chat, just let us know. GLH says some artists you can't even approach them. Jarrod has great people skills.
Thank you, GLHC, and I mean that from the bottom of my heart because I take a tremendous amount of pride in that. Some of these people. Again, I refuse to name any names of some of these people. I'm just like, how? I mean, you got to have a tremendous amount of talent to overcome that lack of social skill.
Oh, I tell you,
I
think it's directly proportional sometimes, but
I think it might be. And you might be onto something because I have readily admitted this on my own show and on other shows and in other public venues, and I will readily admit it on your show. I will go to a con like Heroes Con or you pick a con, it doesn't matter. And I will look around at the 6, 8, 12 tables around me, and I will readily look you in the eye and say, each and every one of these people is more talented than I am. And I can admit that. I am not the most talented artist there. I'm far from it. But I will also look you in the eye and say, I bet you in terms of sales and moving product, I'm going to be the most successful person on this row. And I don't say that to be conceited. I just say that because I treat people really nice.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the key.
Half the time they can get art anywhere. Basically, they're buying the person. A lot of these shows.
Yes.
So
yes, it's why would you cop an attitude with people when you don't need to? A lot of these folks will cop an attitude with somebody, because somebody will ask what they don't even realize is a quote unquote rude question. Some artists just can't handle it. It's weird. My favorite quote unquote rude question that some artists just can't handle that I absolutely can is when someone, it's usually a young person, is going through your portfolio and goes, "Who's this supposed to be?"
Yeah, well,
do you realize how hurtful that question is?
That's when you mess with them a little bit.
I do. I always go, well, it was, in this case, it was supposed to be Major Blood. I guess I missed the mark.
Yeah,
it's usually my answer. I tell them who it's supposed to be. I say, I guess I missed the mark. And then, what they really mean is they don't know who the character is. That's what they mean. They're just like, I don't know who that character is. And I know that. So you make a little fun out of it. You laugh about it. Take the edge off. Some people get upset about it. And again, some people get upset about the whole making them an offer. It's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I mean, I saw a fellow artist who is in sort of my range of skill, just a mid-low level artist, just go on a rant on social media about it. Like, this is not a swap meet. Artists spend all their time and energy and, just wrote this, basically the Declaration of Independence about artists and just don't you dare to do some kind of offer like it's a swap meet. And I'm like, well, I'm the yard sale artist, so it kind of is.
It's in the title, my friend.
And I just like, how do you act so? I guess I get it because they, it's legit. Their art is worth what they think it's worth, but you don't have to go off on people about it. It's okay to simply say, now the price is as you see it. I can't do any better than that. I mean, how hard is it to say that?
I mean, yeah, and the fact is, I know these guys could probably get asked the same question constantly or whatever. I know it gets old, but if
Yeah.
it bothers you that much, just put a sign up there that says,
Yeah.
all prices are final. There's no
Yes.
haggling or something. Then it
Wow.
saves all that
It's like you
discomfort.
know how to do this already. It's like it's really is that simple.
Well, and people, who am I to talk? I'm no artist, but I'm just saying some
I
people
don't know. That
maybe
painting was pretty.
overvalue what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
you're asking them to give over hard-earned money that they had to go
Mm-hmm.
out and work for too. So
Mm-hmm.
don't overvalue your product. Without the customer, you have none. So it's like
100%. No, 100%. Gino, you're right. I
I don't know.
get it that you see other people selling for, a really high price, but that's them and you're you. You got to find your niche. When I first started the art game, 5 years ago, I had no idea what to charge. None, not a clue. So I started low, and then I saw what was popular and what people are just like grabbing up quickly. And said, okay, I'm going to sort of next con, I'll raise that a little more, raise this a little more. And now I've found an equilibrium of what I think is a fair price that people seem to be pleased with. It's all about finding that balance. It really is.
Indeed, and like I said, I mean, like I said, what's the worst you can do? Say no. Okay, I really
100%.
can't.
Yeah.
I can't really do 20, but can you go to like 23 or something, and then we can have a deal here?
Yeah.
I mean,
You know,
because if someone comes in and haggle with you, they might expect a haggle in return. So it's there's no crime in
sure.
it.
There is no crime in it. Like you said, most people are a little shy on haggling. You usually have to draw haggling out of people,
Yeah.
just for the fun of it.
Yeah, the barter gene has died in this country a long time ago. But
And I'll tell you what, I put. I'll tell anybody. I'll put the price up on, especially on my paintings. They'll have a price tag on them, and they're way more than I think I should probably get for them. And occasionally, you get the people that just hand you a credit card,
mm-hmm.
and then case in point, last Dragon Con, I had a Black Panther piece that came out pretty decent. It was a big piece. And this guy and his girlfriend looked at it, came back later, looked at it again. I think I had like 250 or 300 on it. It was a big piece. And I said, listen, you ain't got to pay what's on the sticker. Let's talk about it. What can you afford? Oh, I don't want to insult you. I don't want to insult you. What can you afford? Just tell me. I would no insult. And the guy was like, I'm really maxed out at 150. I took it off the wall and handed it to him. Let's see the 150. Here it is, buddy. Done.
I mean, that's 150 you didn't have in your pocket when you walked in.
I
there,
know.
so.
I mean, I'm a yard sale artist. I paid $3 for the dang thing at a yard sale. Then I did spend probably 4 hours painting it, 4 to 5 hours. Let's say 5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I just made $30 an hour. That's not bad for a guy at my level.
No, I mean, when I was doing woodworking and stuff, like I couldn't make money at it because of the cost of materials but my hour, I didn't even figure my hours in there because it would take me a long time to do a piece, and but I did it by materials. When
that's legit.
I used to have a hot dog cart business too, and I went around before I opened it. I went on to all the restaurants. I was the only cart in town here, but I went to all the restaurants and saw how much they were charging for 2 hot dogs, a drink, and chips, right?
Mm-hmm.
And almost everybody was $6. I made mine 5, and like I had someone ask me once, like, "Hey, down the road there's $6. You're only $5. Are you leaving $1 on the table?" I was like, "You're right here buying from me, aren't you?" I'd rather have that $5 in my pocket than
100%.
to have you think it's like, well, I only have a $5 bill in my wallet. I don't have another dollar on me, so I'm not going to eat here. I'm going to go somewhere else. Like, I want that guy to come in and eat with me.
100%. That sounds delicious, by the way.
Oh, I missed it sometimes.
I'll tell you what, since I've started, I've never changed the price on this. My prints, my 11 by 17 color prints, or black and white, doesn't matter, either one. They are $5, which is, you don't find better deals than that at cons. Most people's prints start at 10, maybe even 20. And mine are $5. They've always been $5. Very similar to what you're talking about. A lot of people have a $5 bill. Five increments of 5 for, especially if you're still listening formally, Rodline. Increments of 5 is the way to go. You want $5 things, $10 things, $15 things, $20 things. because otherwise your change situation is a gosh damn nightmare.
Yeah.
So,
Unless they're using card,
and everyone can relate to it. So yeah, I $5 prints is what I've done since like the dawn of time. And I've never changed it because I get a really good deal on nice, I'm talking nice quality prints because I shop locally, mom and pop store. And I get a really good deal and I pass the savings on. I'm making a decent profit at $5 a drawing. And I have had I had another creator come to me once at a show. Someone on my row there basically jump up and down and tell me I can't possibly be making money at that prices. You're screwing me over. You're screwing everybody on this row. Just ranting. Basically, the person was mad because they weren't selling anything. I got it. You're mad because you're not selling anything. They need to vent. I understand. I'm mature enough to get that. So all I said was my business model is not your concern.
Let's be diplomatic about it.
That's all I said. And the dude just rant. And my response, my business model is not your concern.
There's nothing that irritates somebody who's in an uproar more than being calm and polite.
Just,
I don't know. I mean,
people.
It's like, that's the free market for you. If what I'm doing is selling more, maybe, tell them, hey, look, that guy down there charging $5, but look how much better my drawing is. Do something to make yourself stand out.
Yeah, exactly.
Just because the guy's undercutting you doesn't mean that you have to, it's not a union. You don't go over there and just break his legs and destroy his table.
I wish him success. I'm sorry they don't have the business setup that I have. And I mean, this guy went on and on too. I mean, he went on and on like probably 10 minutes. You can't possibly be making money. Like, okay, dude.
It's like, yes, I came here to lose money. That was my entire goal for the day.
Just fine.
I'm losing $1 a sheet of paper. I'm so glad I came.
It's like I've got a model. You haven't asked me. Did you even factor in the time it took you to draw the drawings? I'm like, well, 90% of the drawings you see in my book, my portfolio, were commissions. So I already got paid to draw them. now
I'm just double dipping.
Now, exactly. And again, especially if you're still listening, Rodline, prints are where the money is. You get a good print that sells well. I put together a portfolio that has, I don't know, like 40 different things in it. Give the people a lot of variety to choose from. And they just keep making money for you. I mean, one of my best sellers is a drawing of Clint Eastwood I did 4 years ago. And to this day, it's a top seller for me.
My gosh, we had, I'll never forget this. Growing up in the 80s, whatever, my mom had this freaking gigantic oil painting of Clint Eastwood with the serape on all that and
nice.
root in his mouth. Oh, I can still see it to this day, him squinting at me in the living room.
That is the exact pose I did my drawing on. And people love it. There's an essence there that captured it. And I got full credit to my digital colors because I do everything in the black and white ink work. And then if it's going to be in my print book, I have a couple of digital colorists that I use. And depending on the project, I select either my buddy from Arkansas or my buddy from India. Very different people, but they digitally color. And anyway, this gal from India, my digital colorist there, she just, oh my gosh, my drawing was good with her colors. It is a whole new level. And I'm so glad I found her. In fact, that she just finished coloring that Ray from Ghostbusters that I showed you earlier. Looks great. It looks great.
GLH is like in reference to that guy you were talking about. It's like, I'm sure it had nothing to do with his crappy art. That's kind of the reason.
Okay, now you're gonna get me on this track. Here's the thing. Remember how I told you earlier that they're more talented people than me, but I sell more? This person was more talented than me. Oh gosh, his art was great. It was great. I would kill to draw like this guy. But you got to factor in, if this guy's going off like this, well, how's he treating people? What's his mental attitude? See what I'm saying? And now you start to understand why maybe he's not doing so good.
I mean,
it's an attitude thing.
You can be the best, psychotherapist, psychoanalyst in the world, but if you're like too brusque with your clients and you intimidate them too much, they're not going to come to you. So
there you go.
I don't know.
And
it's so simple.
And again, he had a product, and I don't want to reveal who this person is, but I'll speak in generality. He had a product that appealed to a very small market. His main product, he was an independent comic creator, and his comic was created for a very specific market of folks. You just have to know that going in. If your comic is aimed at a very specific market, you just have to know it's going to be a little bit slower on sales. It's going to be, you got to wait for the right people to come. That's just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, if you specialize in Archie, I mean, you're not going to sell as much as the guy specialized in Spider-Man. I mean, that's the name of the game. But you'll get that Super Archie fan will come over and drop his entire wallet on your desk too. So I guess you're not a douchebag, right?
It's funny you should say that, because let's get this away from that negative cat and get to the positive. One of my very favorite things, and I'm almost done here. I know I took way more than the 30 minutes I told you it was going to take.
No rush at all, my friend.
One of my favorite things to do, because we were talking about, sitting there and drawing at the table, even though I'm not big on it. I bring these. Let's see if I can find an example. Yeah, I see one hidden away in the corner there. I have a whole bunch of these little card. This one's warped, but I have ones that aren't warped. Cardboard backers, right? They were like some kind of form that we used at my day job. They're like, we're doing away with this form, and we had like thousands of these. So I spent a day just ripping the papers off and keeping the backboards. And I bring them with me, and I sketch on them at shows, and I sell whatever I draw for $10. Just $10, you get an original piece. But the game I play with again, I like to make it fun. I draw the most like obscure thing I can think of. Just like this is like, no one's ever asked me for this, so I'm just gonna draw it. And that rabid fan always shows up. It's like, oh my god, I have to have this. I have drawn like Scrappy Doo and Brave Star.
Oh, and Years of the Wolf.
Yes. And oh my gosh. A Slimer is kind of my most bet. Like, I'll do a Slimer, an animated style Slimer. He's kind of my go-to. I do a Slimer a lot. And I guess he's not that offbeat, but like Krang from the Turtles. Oh my goodness. I love taking one of those little cards and I turn it horizontal and I draw Krang on the card. And then I tell people you can hang it from your lanyard and it looks like your Krang because it hangs right at your belly level. That Krang is in your belly. And I just like, I pick these weird things like Captain Caveman. I've drawn him a couple times. R5D4. I'll sit there and draw him on a card. And that's like the game. And I'm always with a buddy, and my buddy's like, you're never going to sell that. And I'm like, just you watch.
I tell you what, you could probably start drawing Baby Yoda and freaking just print money when you went to these shows now.
Yeah, Baby Yoda's popular. That's for sure. In fact, my buddy Nate, the guy who was the penciler on Hamilton versus Burr, Werewolf Tale, available at thercellars.com. He doesn't get to cons much. In fact, I don't think he has a driver's license. He lives on a farm in Illinois. He's pretty young. He's in his 20s, but he's just never had a need to leave the farm life. And so he will send me stuff. He'll send me pencil sketches that he's done to take to the con, and I'll ink it and maybe do a marker color on it, and I'll sell it at the con. Being completely transparent, people, I didn't draw this. It's my buddy Nate. I do that to kind of get his art out there, and it gives me something to fiddle around the con. Anyway, he just sent me a bunch of Baby Yoda stuff. And I'm like, people will probably buy it.
Oh, I don't doubt it a bit. Hey, GLH had something. He had a question. I'm assuming this is for the lady in India. He says, Jarrod, is she the one who colored the 1010 commission?
No. The 1010 was done by my buddy out of Arkansas, Ken Solo. He's on Twitter. You might have seen us chat before. Ken Solo is my colorist out of Arkansas. And the lady out of Italy, her name is Mohan. She did not do the 1010. I tend to use Ken when I'm doing something a little more cartoony. And I tend to use Mohan when I'm doing something more realistic. But it also depends on who's available sometimes. But yeah, the 1010 was done by Ken, and he's wonderful. Oh, I love Ken. He's done, I don't want to slide him. He's done some more realistic pieces for me, and he's done a wonderful job. But yeah.
Oh my goodness, he's putting his signature on it.
Yeah, it must mean we're about done, isn't it?
All right. So, anyone in the chat want to take a guess other than Rod who this is?
By now, if you don't know by now, you're not going to get it.
Well, he was kind of an obscure character, even as for
He
Joe. I
was.
mean, he has a beard.
I'm going to bring in just one more shade of brown just for fun. I know you probably want to get the heck out of here, but
Oh no, I'm fine. I nothing going on. I got some stuff cooking in the crock pot that I'll be filming here in a little while, but it's just bubbling away. It's all I'm waiting for. So,
did you say you're going to film it?
yeah, I have. I don't know if you saw it. I made cordon bleu or whatever in the crock pot last week and made a video out of it. So people seem to like it. So I'm going to do another one.
Oh man, I made some interesting stuff earlier this week, and I was like, I wonder if people would even care about yard sale artist cooking videos. Apparently, they do, huh? All right.
I mean, I don't know. It's just that I have a variety channel, so I just put it out there and
I
let
guess
the public decide what they want to see.
I love it. I do need to get more up to, like, I've just gotten into the world of YouTube. I just got my own channel like 2 weeks ago. I need to spend more time seeing the things you do. I've been on John's channel a bunch, and of course we have our Long Box Crusade thing where it's really sort of a podcast oriented channel. So I need to explore more. I need to watch your videos and see what you're doing.
I mean, I don't know that anyone needs to follow my model. Just I'm not like setting YouTube on fire, but
we're like friends. I want to see what you're doing just as friends.
Oh, well, that's true. I mean, I just uploaded one where I installed the LED headlights on my motorcycle, and
that one I did. I saw the LED one. That was pretty recent, I think.
Yeah, I just uploaded that yesterday. It's
yesterday. Yep. Because I did see the LED lights on the motorcycle.
I get in the habit of just taking my camera around with me. It's like if I'm doing something I haven't done before, or it's like, you know what? If nothing else, it saves me from having to think of doing something. So I'll just record what I'm doing, and if I don't like it, I won't put it out there. So.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about doing more of the yard sale art painting videos. I brought my phone with me to record in case I found anything cool to paint on to the yard sale scene this weekend. Of course, I found nothing. Wah, wah. But eventually I will find something. I mean, I've got stuff out in the building already, obviously, but it's going to be fun when I'm able to basically take something through its entire life cycle. Classy marketing.
Rod says, hint, he's not a captain and he's not a private. Well, there's some other stuff out there. But he does have a military rank.
He does have a military rank.
But we'll just give it on a few more seconds. So if somebody wanted to get a commission just like what you're doing right now, like how much would it cost?
Thank you for turning this into an infomercial for me. I appreciate it.
But wait, there's more.
But wait, there's more. Okay, so a regular book page sketch, which is on your standard novel size, all the way up to, I've got some hardbacks. Those are $22. That includes shipping right here in the US. Again, getting very popular. Price might go up a little in the near future if I get too bogged down. But right now they're just $22. Now this one, the Joe pieces I do on the Army manuals, these I go $27. They're just $5 more, mainly because A, they're bigger, and B, they soak up a lot more marker. And then, as you saw, I use some classy markers, and they tend to get a little pricey. So the Joe ones are a little more. They're $27 delivered. Now, if you catch me at a con, the $22 will be offered at $15, and these $27 Joe pieces will be offered at $20. Always good to catch me live. Everything's a little cheaper. I don't got to go to the post office and all that shipping stuff. But yeah, you're not going to pay more than $30 for a book page sketch.
All right. And someone wants to commission from you. Where do they go? Do they go to your website? Where's the best place to find you?
Really, the what works best, if you want to hit me up for a commission, which I would greatly appreciate, would be any of your social medias. You see my @ handle right there. It's at Yard Sale Artist. Hit up Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Any of them. Send me a message. Say, hey, I caught you on the Genome Show, and I'm interested in seeing what books you have available. And I'll send you a picture of my book bin. Then I've got a lot. So chances are the character you want is floating around in my book bin somewhere. And we'll hook it up. Jarrod, I'm doing a TMNT commission. I know. I'll take a look at. I'm reading your screens now. That's formerly Rodline. Not a problem, buddy. You've got me on. I think he's got me on Twitter and Instagram. Feel free to send me a picture. I've got. There's a young man who's like 19-year-old artist out of Mexico who hits me up about twice a month. Sends me drawings that he's done. He got to know me through my I did some work for Marvel's trading cards line with them and Upper Deck, and that's how he got to know me. And about, like I said, about twice a month, he'll send me drawings and ask for my input. I do my best.
The Upper Deck, man, I used to collect baseball cards, and that was.
Oh gosh, yes, me and you both, man. I mean, you and I have lived a very similar life as we've discussed before. Me too, really. Buddy. Yeah, I was pretty excited to nail the old Marvel Upper Deck gig.
I have the first 3 of the Marvel trading card series. I can't remember who put them out, but
yes, I know them well, my friend.
But so, all right. So it looks like we're going to be going and wrapping things up here. If you have anything further you want to put out there, just go ahead and feel free to speak your piece now.
Definitely. I'd like to thank everybody for stopping by, for sure. It's nice to chat with you guys. And
make sure to get over to Jarrod's YouTube channel. Give him a sub and a like as well.
Oh, that's very nice of you.
Hit the notification bell so you can see when he goes. He does lots of live streams where he does this.
Oh, and I pop up randomly too, so definitely hit that bell if you want to see things. As I'm like, I'm going to draw on live stream today, and just whenever I've got in the mood.
I really want to thank all the chat today. Of course, the stalwart regulars of GLH and Rodline. They are cross-platform watchers. I really do appreciate you hanging in there and asking some great questions.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll, if Jarrod thinks he can stomach me, maybe we'll do this again in the future.
Probably so.
Maybe I'll do a commission and then he can draw the commission or something. Who knows? But yeah. Anyway, so unless you had something else, Jarrod, I guess I'll go let you get back to your Sunday.
No, guys, I really appreciate it. Again, you see the @Yard Sale Artist has Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and just like Genome said, I've got a channel on YouTube now. If you search Yard Sale Artist, you will find me. I appreciate a subscription. Would be wonderful. Thank you for allowing me on to pimp myself, Genome. Thanks for letting me on the show, man.
Oh, no problem. It's my duty to turn out anybody in this great industry and the fledgling people. I wish I had more people pushing me when I was under 100 subs. So, all right. So once again, thanks everyone for watching. Thanks again for coming on the show today, Jarrod. And there'll be more content coming up in the near future, including the cooking stuff I talked about earlier. So
that sounds delicious.
All right. Oh, by the way, that's Major Blood, everyone. In case
you didn't know, it's Major Blood. G.I. Joe fans know exactly who he is.
It was my first G.I. Joe character, figuring all those years ago. He used to have a stiff arm, as I recall.
He had a bionic arm. Yeah, absolutely.
But all right. Well, thanks again for doing this. And until next time, this is Genome and the Yard Sale Artist out.